Hey guys, it's Tiny Tom Logan back with another video for you, and it is my first video from Computex 2024. Now, I've been to see Asus Republic of Gamers today, but the only thing I'm allowed to talk to you about today, because there is much more to come, is they have finally announced and launched and told us all the details about the new ROG Ally X. Now, there are a few upgrades that people have been screaming for, and they have changed pretty much everything other than the screen and the actual processor itself. One of the big things everyone was asking for though was a larger battery, and they've actually doubled the size of the battery. Now, this hasn't actually affected the main unit itself too much because they've made a lot of changes internally as well, but you've gone from a 40 watt hour battery now up to an 80 watt hour battery. They've also upgraded or changed rather the storage capabilities, and they've gone from an M.2 2230 up to a M.2 2280, which technically does give you the option of going up to an 8 terabyte NVMe at the moment. But it also really means that you've got much more surface area in there for your solid state drive. Now, one of the other big upgrades that they've done is you go from 16 gigabyte up to 24 gigabyte of LPDDR5X, and it's up from 6,000 megahertz now up to 7,500 megahertz memory. One of the other things to talk about is the weight. It has gone up marginally, but not as much as you'd believe. So we're up by 11.5% in weight, but that's a 200% increase in battery capacity, 200% increase in storage capacity, and 150% DRAM capacity. They've changed the joysticks on them, but they've changed the feel, they've made the spring feel firmer, but they've also increased the longevity. So they've gone up from 2 million to 5 million cycles. They've also changed the precision pad so it feels better, it's more tactile, it's easier to use blind or when you're just completely focused on your game. You'll be able to feel it move, you'll be able to feel the clicks better. It's just going to be a better to use, but that's also going to come with the rest of the switches as well, because everything does they say it's better reach. Now, I've had hold of this and it does just feel better. Everything just is intuitively kind of, the best way I can put it is it's in the right place. It just feels like everything is at home. Around the back there are new M keys. They've moved them so that they're less easy to kind of hit mistakenly, and by M keys I mean macro keys, so you can set those up in the software, you can get them to do whatever you want. One of the big upgrades is the fan design. It's actually smaller now, and it's 50% thinner, but it's got 10% more airflow because of all the extra fan blades that they've actually got on it now. Now, what this does mean is they can increase the interior airflow, and they've done that with those fans, but there are extra ports on the actual unit itself now. There's an extra one just behind the screen, right in the very middle of the unit itself. This does help keep the screen itself up to 6 degrees cooler, but there is up to 24% more airflow coming out of the top now. And what they have done is this should alleviate any of those of you out there that had any of the SD problems, because they've actually decided to move it. So whereas before on the original you only had one Type-C connection, you've now got two. One of them is USB 3.2 Gen 4, which also does DisplayPort and power delivery, but the other one critically is USB 4 and is fully Thunderbolt 4 compatible, DisplayPort 1.4 compatible, and power delivery 3. So it's more about the USB 4 to USB 3.2 differences with that. They've also brought out some new, there's now a universal charger is an optional extra that you can purchase up to 140 watts. As you can see by the slide that we got shown, there are 4 ports on it, and it does mean that you can charge your Ally, you can charge your phone, and any USB-C devices that you might want to do. There is a ROG Ally premium hard case now available. Now, this can not only take the Ally X, but also the original Ally, and there is room round the back for you to be able to put your charger in as well. So if you do buy the optional extra big fat charger, that will still fit in round the back, and it means that you can carry it all with the little handle on the top as well. But where it is a hard case, it's much less likely to get damaged if it's broken, or you unfortunately end up putting something on the top of it. So here's the full breakdown of the differences between the two. As you can see, there are also a lot of similarities, but they have upgraded an awful lot of the stuff that they could do. I'd say this is more of like a ROG Ally 1.2 is a sidestep. It's in an incremental upgrade. There's no screen or CPU differences, but you can see below with all the other changes that they have made. And weirdly, because we actually didn't know, it's pre-order available today. It's going to be available to actually have physically in July. There was a lot of rumours and speculations about it being September, so it's quite soon. And depending on the one that you get, the Extreme is up to $799. Be interesting to see what that converts to in Great British beer tokens when it finally does make its way across the pond. And obviously they're going to add the VAT and all the shipping costs and all of that stuff to it. But it will be interesting to see. One thing I can say, because obviously I have had it in my hands, and it is just far more tactile, and everything does feel much more at home. Despite the extra weight of that battery, it doesn't feel extra heavy in your hands, and it is actually very, very well balanced as well. When you saw me in the video trying to do it with one hand, it's because I'm trying to film with one hand and literally move and play with it in another. It was quite busy in the room. It wasn't particularly well set up for me to be able to film and set up tripods and things for me to be able to show you properly. But when you do get both hands on it, it is very, very comfortable. The switches, the changes to the switches on the bumpers specifically feel much nicer for your fingers to rest on. And it does feel like something you could spend many, many hours losing playing your favourite titles. So, Asus, when are we going to get a white one? Anyway, or a white Ally X. Anyway, you get what I mean. They only showed us a black one today, so I just needed to say I want a white one. But it's because I actually physically want a white one. So yes, please, thank you very much. Anyway, this has been my first video for Computex 2024. Make sure you check back the channel, like, subscribe, comment, do all those wonderful, beautiful things to help me with the algorithm. And I will be back shortly because I have a RAM-packed week for you all.